Check. Mic check. Looks like we're about to begin here. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and wait a few seconds for people to join in. Feel free to skip ahead if you're watching this in archive. If you're watching this in archive, let's see. Oh, we got one viewer. Okay, so the message did go out that we are live. Let me go ahead and do a quick tweet here as we get rolling. Yeah, great. We got two people. Welcome. What's up, Moshe? Yo, yo, yo. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. We're about to get started. Okay, there we go. There we go. And boom. Welcome everyone into Crypto's News. It's just two of you guys here live right now. It's nice to be fresh and to start over with a clean slate because it feels like there's less expectations, like we're just hanging out. So right now it's just me and Moshi. Although we are getting a good amount of views after the video is not live anymore as people roll in from work and they just tune in to see what's going on. Yeah, yeah, you welcome back if you just watch my other video. So yeah, as people get settled and decide to tune in the show, they're watching the show, and I'm super humbled and super grateful that we could have this many viewers, not just in a bear market, but obviously since we're just relaunching the show. So that's pretty spectacular, and I'm just eternally grateful for that. So we have, of course, the main topics of the day to be talking about today. For me, it's really nice to be able to sit down here and chat with you guys and be present with you because there's not a lot of hope out there. So we got each other right now. It's the best I can say because still we have more down days, and it's not just in crypto. Sometimes it's easy to get our heads stuck in the sand like an ostrich and think it's really just about crypto. But what drove me to crypto in the beginning was always thinking about the dollar and trying to hedge it. I had been making money working as a server, and I had been investing that money because we all want our money to be growing, as Warren Buffett says, in our sleep. And so eventually I realized that the US dollar was built on top of a very shaky system. Fractional reserve banking just didn't seem like it had much life left. Of course, this was back in 2012, I think it was, where I first started getting into this. And eventually in 2015, really getting more into gold and silver, finding it that at that point, 2016, getting into crypto and mining. And it's all been kind of out of the same thesis, which is how are we going to have a life, right? How are we going to survive the possible destruction of all of this that it looks like we're really facing at this point? And so everything that we've talked about and studied about, it's not about the DeFi project and which one's going to compete. It's not even about which coin is going to win. It's just about survival at the end of the day. And money is a very useful fiction that we use in order to transact, in order to pay our bills, in order to have the mainstays. And now we're really facing this moment where what would happen? What would we do in the event of a credit freeze? How do we prepare for possibility that we might not have power if something goes wrong? That happened to my mother when she was in Texas. Believe it or not, she lives in Texas, and there were some issues, as you might have heard, in Texas where some people almost got well, some people actually did pass away, I'm pretty sure, by freezing to death because power went out. So how do you protect yourself when your government might not be in a position to do so, when you need to protect those around you? And Bitcoin just might be one of the best ways to do that. What's up, Moonshot? Thank you so much for coming back yourself, erogenous emu. Like that name. Like that name. A mouthful, but a good one. NFT addiction helpline. I love that name too. What's up is just trying to put pieces here together and just meditate and chill out. I think meditation is a very useful tool to just focus on what we can control, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic, what our arms can reach. And so I'm pretty chill these days, believe it or not. So that's what's up with me. What's up with you? Anyway, Bitcoin, I think, is still just, this is what it was made for. This is what Satoshi created it for. It thank God, in a way, we bought ourselves more time, especially for many of us, to accrue some more assets that we might be able to protect, to have some level of cryptos, or to have, if you're lucky, some real estate. Maybe you have a car. These are real hard assets. These are resources that you use. Now, how do you protect them? luckily we have something like Bitcoin at the kind of center of it all. You might be into other cryptos as well. It's up to you to decide whether they're going to live or die. I've talked about it in the past, and it's just not what I'm interested in anymore. But we're going to be covering the news as we go through this. Like I said, there is very little when you're looking at the macro picture in the way of great news. Right now, it looks like the Fed is doubling down and saying it's going to be a recession. They're not scared of causing a recession if it means getting inflation down. So as long as the people are spending, I mean, we're still going to see prices ticking up. We will see what will happen here, but you need to protect yourselves. I think Bitcoin is one of the safer ways to do that. It has been during bear markets, but again, we just have all these different hedge funds going down that are tied together. And so it's a matter of perhaps even having some cash. Maybe the Fed does revert course, like I've said before, sooner rather than later. My prediction back at the beginning of the year on my other channel, on the channel that's now deleted, was that by August, the markets would scream mercy so hard and the politicians, the Fed would have to reverse course. Now, the Fed doesn't seem like they want to do that. They've said that they want to see inflation ticking down, not just 1 month finally reverse. Oh, it looks like my laundry's done. Okay, Google! Sorry. She's just going to keep ticking. I'll be right back. Gather your thoughts. Oh, no. Okay, Google, stop! She did stop. Stop! Stop! Project my voice across. She's getting good. Anyway, so the Fed wants to see month after month for consecutive months, not even just 2 months. It seems like more than that of inflation ticking down before they reverse course. So that means that we will likely see risk assets continue down. Now, there is a bottom floor here for Bitcoin where the full faith and credit of the US, which is really backed by the government, I would say the government, yeah, there's still enough trust in the government that people could say the government might be able to help them. And really, it's just the military. It's about military power. So the dollar, I think, will have some sort of credit here. Bitcoin relies on the internet. Just thinking out loud here. So if the internet goes down, it's going to be, it's possible to use Bitcoin without the internet, but it's going to be not as easy. So I think cash is really going to be a big winner here. I mean, the US dollar, until it's dead, it's until that fat lady finally sings. It's just going to be the better place to be. And it will allow you to buy cheaper assets here. You might see cheaper real estate. You might see cheaper Swiss watches, which are coming down, according to Mr. Novogratz. We'll look at it in a minute. So yeah, we're going to be covering some of the main news today. Grab yourself. I got myself some tea. I don't know what you guys are drinking these days. But let's take a look at the prices. So let's see, browser. Here we are. So what we got today is just more pain. We have Bitcoin down 10.1% in the last 24 hours. Let me refresh here. It might be different. It's not going to be that different. Anyway, yeah, we have Ethereum about to test $1,000. So this could be the moment where it breaks below that. I think it's nice to be well diversified because we don't know what kind of shocks could happen if there is some sort of credit freeze, if there are bank runs, oh yeah, down 13.7%. That's pretty brutal. But I'm sure we have other coins that are down significantly more than that. And it doesn't really matter. It's not a matter of which one's down and which one's up. I mean, we're all suffering here. Even big boy Bitcoin, there we are, refreshed, is down 9.5%, about to test $20,000. I think it's a matter of all hodling each other. It's about love at this point. I love you guys. So that's that. I really do. I really do appreciate you guys and love you guys oftentimes, those of you who are still around. But we have Ethereum gas at a good prices. So if you are trying to take advantage, maybe you have a way of shorting these markets that you trust. Could be a good point. I thought we might have a moment where the Fed came out, said what they said yesterday, Wednesday. It feels like it's been longer than that. Said what they said, and then markets will get a bit of a rebound until we see how things go forward. But no, now it's like markets are saying there's going to be a recession, and there's just almost full-on fear that doesn't seem like there's going to be good at the end of it. Let's put it that way. There's a possible war with China still coming out again because of the whole Taiwan issue. And obviously these are things we don't want to see. Don't want to see war. We want to see peace. But the airwaves are just flooded with a lot of fear that the Fed is what's at the top of this, and the Fed is trying to cause a recession. So that's going to impact things like crypto, which are considered risk assets until those highly leveraged crypto hedge funds that we wanted, and regular hedge funds and institutions, until they get knocked out of this market and we go back to using PGP messages to trade Bitcoin back and forth. So we get to that point, we won't really know what the ultimate bottom price floor is. But I do think it in the long run is going to be better than the dollar. It's a matter of survival till that point, of course. So I don't think you want to be trading on short time frames, but you do what you're going to do. Euro coin. So Euro coin has launched. This is Circle. So Circle. I remember the exact moment I was there. You guys might remember back. I don't even remember what the exact date was. We were at a conference and they announced when USDC came out, which is probably the most popular, definitely the most popular centralized stablecoin that exists. They park funds at a trusted custodial institution called BitGo. Primarily, they park actual dollars, and then that creates this stable coin that they issue called USDC. And you can use USDC at all sorts of exchanges. You can use it like any Ethereum token on all sorts of DeFi products. You can use it to pick up your favorite NFTs, just everything that you can do with an ERC20 token. If you aren't too familiar, maybe you're a big fan of DAI and you just have completely ignored, that's DAI, the other stablecoin. You've completely ignored centralized stablecoins, and that's fine. But they are now going to be launching Circle, who launched USDC. They're going to be launching Eurocoin. So I really appreciate the brazen name, first of all, just flat out Eurocoin. Like this is the Euro coin, a Euro stable coin backed by full reserve. So very much like USDC. They have been quite trusted. I believe there's high level insurance here, and they haven't really done bad by the community. They're not trying to do what you might see with some of these Celsius and some of these other platforms like Celsius and others who take your crypto and they use that crypto to rehypothecate, meaning they use that crypto to go and generate yield, oftentimes in very risky, undisclosed ways, maybe DeFi products, maybe staking, actual staking, not what they call staking, like staking on Celsius, but actual staking on blockchains. They try to generate a yield, and let's say they make 20%, you get maybe 8-10%, and that's how they generate their profit. Instead, the way that this works is that they keep it in cash, park that cash in a bank that pays them whatever very small interest, and that is how they make their profit while maintaining this and the smart contracts and so on. So centralized, you're not really going to get a say unless you're part of whatever consortium is deciding this. But it has been trusted. USDC is accepted almost anywhere in crypto land, and maybe outside of it. I can't wait, guys, until Apple Payments and Google Pay, just side note, until they finally give the green light to cryptos, at least the solid cryptos, and maybe even some stable coins like USDC and Euro coin or whatever. And then we can use that to pay with our smartwatches and our phones at merchants near you anywhere that accepts Google and Apple Pay. I think that is going to be probably the most bullish, fundamentally bullish thing that we could see happening. And it's what I've always said, I would like to see this used for payments. I think if we're really building parallel economies that would not be completely tethered, because we do know at the end of the day these smart contracts will survive an implosion as long as somebody is running a node somewhere. For Bitcoin, there is apparently a node in freaking space that Blockstream has. So Bitcoin, hardest money that we know in the freaking universe. That's and as an investor, you want to be thinking about what's going to survive the long tails, all the black swans that you can think of, and probably the better ones include, I mean, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's probably the best one. But assuming everything continues to work as expected, and I can't promise that'll be the case with what's going on around the world from central banks. What was it? Sweden raising interest rates for the first time in many years. You have the Bank of Japan. Real Vision's been covering a lot of this, that YouTube channel. Just it's just such a crazy world right now. We don't know what will break, but if something does break, it could pose issues. So always be diversified. No, don't go all in on one very thing. I think cash is US dollars probably. I can't believe I have to say this, but probably the safest thing to be, and Bitcoin at this point. But yeah, maybe Eurocoin is going to be one of these better options, assuming everything continues to work. That is going to be available as soon as June 30th, as it says here on circle.com/euro hyphen coin. It's going to be featured on exchanges such as Binance.us, Bitstamp, FTX, Huobi Global. So these are some of the more trusted exchanges that exist right now. Not the oldest, because FTX is pretty new, but some of the more trusted ones. Bitstamp is often used as a price reference. Binance US was born out of regulatory concerns from Binance, So, and Huobi's been around for ages. DeFi, so you'll find it on smart contracts. Let's just say smart contracts. Compound Curve, DFX, Uniswap protocol. So on Ethereum, it's launching on Ethereum. Really nice to see that Ethereum is still, and I'm still an Ethereum fanboy. I still hold Ethereum, still hold Bitcoin. I got my other plays, but really I'm only going to be focusing on those just to keep the show somewhat focused. If I find something else, I find something else. But really all I'm covering right now is Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum's still the leader when it comes to smart contracts, although I did hear that Avalanche today got domain, so they got .avax domain, so check that out if you're an Avalanche holder and you maybe want to have an ENS domain like thing. But yeah, there you go, you're gonna be seeing Eurocoin. Not too surprising, we've heard talks about rumors about that before. Hey Azam, thank you so much for being a supporter, man. I saw you when I was going through my Patreon, and I guess I'll jump to that real quick. If you guys want to support the show, you can do so via Patreon. I'm relaunching that here. I mean, a lot of the old Patreons are still there, so double check if you don't want to be a supporter anymore. But yeah, Patreon is back up, and if you are a supporter, you are for as little as $5 right now, you're gonna get a producer credit at the end of the show, like we used to do. I'll run the old producer credit that I had. It's not updated, but I'm going to be removing names and adjusting it. So if you would like to be a part of it, you'll see it at the end of the show. Then please check out the link in the did I add it to this video? I might have forgotten to add it to this video. But you can go to patreon.com/CRYPT0S news, crypto's news, crypto to zero. My name is not Crypt Zero, guys. It's crypto. Yo, what's up, Validator ETH? What's the deal with Super Chat? I can't get that until I hit 1,000 subscribers and a certain number of watch hours. But hopefully we get that again soon, Dennis Turk. I'm really not making any money right now, so the only way I could possibly do that, because YouTube won't allow me to for now. Uh, I don't know when I'll hit 1,000 subscribers, but it's fine starting slow. It'd just be nice to have some sort of income. But if you guys want to support, you can do so via the links. I'll drop them below, so you can tip me on PayPal, ETH. Yeah, ETH right now. I put it on there, and you can do it on Patreon. Thank you guys so very much. And yeah, Azam is a supporter, so thank you, Azam, for that. So Celsius did also put out a community FAQ. It's a lot of what we heard before. So Celsius right now has frozen withdrawals if you've missed that, which is kind of scary across all their accounts. But here are updates. They promised to update as much as possible, and they have been doing that. I'll give them that much. They've been not completely transparent. We don't know the full story, although there are rumors going around that it's linked to the DPEG of Luna, UST. I wasn't covering that on this show because that was while I was on hiatus, but that was some giant drama that's been blowing up. And Celsius was involved. They dumped UST. That caused some sort of drama. Yada, whatever. That's some of the unconfirmed rumors, and that Celsius is actually a good guy in all of this. But I struggle to see how they're good guys when they didn't really forewarn in advance. Like, hey, by the way, guys, just let you know. I mean, we can just remind you, we can still pause withdrawals as per terms, and we might be doing that like in a week. We might not. Like, that would have caused a fear anyway. Instead, they kind of said everything was fine. So, I mean, good and bad, but hopefully they come back up. People are going to continue to earn on their earn accounts, they say. I hear that their ultimate margin call is down around the $16,000-$17,000 level. So if Bitcoin reaches that price, and I mean, I really hope it doesn't, then that's really when people might face more serious issues and them enabling withdrawals again. But yeah, I mean, a lot of what we've heard before, this was kind of new to me. If you have issues with your own loan margin calls, then you can reach out to them. Make sure you're responding to your emails Celsius is sending you as those get close. You can also go to loans@celsius.network to direct any sort of inquiries. And yeah, the team is trying to get things up as quickly as possible. Hopefully that does happen sooner rather than later if you need those funds to pay some bills. I know I do. Thank you, JC. Thank you so much for subscribing. And for everyone else who subscribed, I really appreciate that. I don't know how to say, just thank you so much for still being a part of this. You don't even have to be here. It's a freaking bear market across the world, and you're still here. So thank you very much for that. You will hit it soon. You are one of the OGs. Yeah, I hope so. Dennis Turk, in regards to super chat and monetization. Joe, Omar, do you mind if I ask what happened? Not sure if it's a sensitive subject. I have always loved your stuff. Just curious. If you don't want to talk about it, I can respect that. I actually did talk about that. If you go to the first video, I got quite into length into a lot of what happened to me, Joe Isle. But in a nutshell, I went just brief. I went manic from taking, I guess you could say, too many nootropics, from not taking care of myself, from dealing with a breakup, from trying to see if there was something else other than the YouTube channel that would make me happy. But I realized this is really what makes me happiest now. It was a lot, but it resulted in me basically becoming lost and homeless on the streets in LA, and learning a lot, and like just a lot of valuable life lessons that I needed to go through. And now I'm back and kind of a transformed person, I guess you could say. Not because I wanted to be, but it's just a matter of where things are at. And so I'm just grateful to be alive. There were moments where I thought I was dead, where I wasn't sleeping while I was homeless. It's very difficult to sleep on the anywhere, to find benches, to find rest. I just kept moving, trying to find home, but I was lost and my mind wasn't in the right place. um, and I wasn't eating. I couldn't find food. I didn't beg for food. I couldn't find water. I just was completely out of it. I couldn't even communicate. It was really weird. It was honestly a really strange experience to be removed from my entire world and the way my brain expected things to be, to being on the streets, completely homeless for about 5 days. Um, and just thinking that was it. And then at one point, I thought I was dead. I remember it was like super night and super cold, and I can't talk about everything. It's just it's crazy. I had like my clothes. Just let's just say I had clothes that wasn't even clothes, and it was like, I don't know, as cold as gets with the Pacific air here. I was by the beach at one point, and I was freezing and shivering, and my my I learned how far you could push the human body, and I could push mine, and it's fundamentally changed how I think. I came out of it with an insane amount of cardio, even though I wasn't running and I was barefoot, let's say, the whole time. I even had a piece of glass in my foot, and every step was painful. I eventually learned how to make my own sandals out of grass. It was just crazy, man. It was wild. But yeah, you can check out the first video if you want some more details on that. Um, but I've grown and I've learned a lot. And I don't know. Anyway, how much did I have in Celsius? I can't say exact numbers, but as you know, Britt, it's not right thing to do that, and it doesn't matter. It's an impactful amount to me, and luckily I have enough pocket change to survive for a few months. But like, yeah, we got to be careful where we park our money. For now, I'm just taking it. I'm praying. I became religious, like I said. I think God is what really got me through it. Um, and so I pray every day now. We need faith, and I think it's going to be an important thing as we get through this period. Sometimes faith is all we have at the end of the day, and it's what got me through all of that. Anyway, so Twitter, this is going on with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to be at the head, and there were a lot of questions in regards to how he would manage Twitter being at the head of it. And so there was one part that was relevant, although you can check out the whole transcript. It's pretty long, but you can check out the transcript and see the crypto part in regards to payments specifically. That's what we'll cover here. Leslie Berland says, so we're going to go over, I guess, time. Is that okay? Awesome. Thank you. Can you talk a little about Twitter and payments? You mentioned this a few times in different settings. I would love to understand your thinking here. Elon Musk said, yeah, your money is essentially a form of information. It's information that allows us to exchange products and services without having to barter and barter without cash, yeah, well, directly goods, and allows people to shift obligations in time. But money is fundamentally digital at this point and has been for a while. I'll tell you, it's not if you're on the street. Even a penny has so much value when you realize you can get to 100 pennies and that'll make a dollar. And sometimes all you can find are pennies. So it's not fundamentally digital. It's digital to those who have. And PayPal, I think it's done a great job on the payments front. I think it would make sense to integrate payments into Twitter so that it's easy to send money back and forth. And if you have currency as well as crypto, it's, essentially whenever somebody would find it useful. So my goal would be to maximize the usefulness of the service of Twitter. The more useful it is, payments definitely could add more use to it and utility, the better. Although it does change and aligns things. It depends how you set it up. Like Reddit, some of those subreddits have been absolutely ruined by integrating payments, and they've changed the game theory of it all into being just about money. And I think that's the inherent problem with crypto, is that it's always about money. It doesn't have to be about that. We can build better cultures around crypto. And that's what I'm trying to do here on the show. Thank you so much, Joe. Yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time. We're all gonna be all right. Uh, it's almost like meditation. Meditation helps a lot. So if one can use it to make convenient payments, that increases its usefulness. News, entertainment, and payments, I think, are like three critical areas. But really, it's just about thinking about how to make this, how to make using Twitter so compelling that you can't live without it, and that everyone wants to use it. See, that's scary to me. Like I learned just so all or nothing is just such a wrong way to live, and it's so dehumanizing. It's kind of terrible to live every single day the exact same way. When there's a great beauty in seeing things with new eyes and curiosity and trying different things. So I'm gonna push back on Elon and say that's kind of whack, but I get why you have to say it. But whatever, I would kind of throw that away personally. But that's just me. Anyway, Musk, he's not having the best day. Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX are being sued for an alleged DogeCoin pyramid scheme. I found this on Bloomberg. So, Keith Johnson, an American citizen who was defrauded out of money by defendants, Dogecoin crypto pyramid scheme, have sued Musk and his companies, claiming they constitute an illegal racketeering enterprise to inflate Dogecoin's price. See, that's the thing, is that when you mix yourself with shit coins. Although Dogecoin's been around a long time, sometimes you have just a kind of culture around it that is not aligned with, hey, sovereign money, hey, fuck governments and using them for protection. Like instead, it's more like, let's use the government to get as much money as I can. So that's what happens. Defendants falsely and deceptively claim that Dogecoin is a legitimate investment when it has no value at all. I mean, it does have value. I mean, it has value. Look at it right there. It says 5 cents. It's almost halfway to 6 cents there. Okay, so it has value. Just throw it away. Anyway, he's seeking to represent a class of people who have lost money trading in Dogecoin since April 2019. He is asking for $86 billion in damages, plus triple damages of $172 billion, as well as an order blocking Musk and the companies from promoting Dogecoin and declaring that Dogecoin trading constitutes gambling under US and New York law. Anyway, Musk didn't respond, of course. And the case is Johnson versus Musk, US District Court. I'm not going to say all these numbers and letters. Southern District of New York, Manhattan. By the way, I'm going to be in New York actually in about 10 days. I'm going to be in New York. So I probably will be doing some videos out of there. Maybe we can do a meetup for real or something like that. That would be nice. Who's in New York? Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe you have, okay, let's put it this way. If you have a meetup already in New York that you attend, or you know of one, or in Jersey, like near New York, let me know and maybe I can make an appearance. I would love to hang out with some of the community out in New York. Although we've lost a lot of the good souls in this battle, but those of you who are still sticking around the bear market, I really want to see you guys do well. And I just want to send you guys so much love and appreciation. Sending it. I thought this was pretty great. Shamath, someone I really, really respect. You would know that if you've watched the show. Shamath Palihapitiya, big time venture capitalist. And I think he's got a really smart brain. He invested in all sorts of things, not just crypto. I'm talking AI technology. In honor of BTC getting crushed, we described the following to dall-e AI. So take a look at this picture. There's basically a GPT-3. So that's an AI that you can basically have conversations with. I used to cover it on the old show. I just thought it was fascinating stuff. So GPT-3, they derived an image version of it where you can input text and it generates an image. I mean, that is the coolest thing that I have heard of probably all week. So Shamath typed into there crypto broke or his team or whoever, crypto bro working at McDonald's in the impressionist style. And this is what it came back with. So impressionist art style. That is amazing. Is that a chicken nugget Bitcoin? That is better art than I have seen in most NFTs that sold. I mean, that is sick. So right now you can get access to the dall-e AI. I saw if you pay for the API. So if you're interested in doing that yourself, maybe generating some of your own NFTs, whatever you're doing, definitely check out the site. It's on openai.com. You can read more. We've trained a neural network called dall-e, like dall-e, the guy with the famous melting clocks, the artist that creates images from text captions for a wide range of concepts expressible in natural language. Check these images out. This one, let me open this up a little bit. AI generated images. So this was an illustration of a baby daikon radish in a tutu walking a dog, and it generated all of these. That's incredible. Oh, look who's here. Decentralized, thank you so much for making it out, man. I want to see your perspectives through all this. Can we do a show, Decentralized? I think we would have such a blast if we had a conversation soon on the show. I just want to know what you're thinking about, and I want to know what happened to you during the bull market and now what you're thinking about during the bear market, because man, I'm sure you've seen the ride. Decentralized is a true OG, longer than me, and if I have stories, he's got way more stories. I would love to have him on sometimes. Yeah, let's connect via Twitter or something, and we can set something up. I haven't done an interview yet on the show. It'd be cool, super cool to have you as the first one. In fact, I'm gonna say that since you said anytime, made and lost 2 million again. And then you'll make it again because that's how it goes. I feel you, man. It's almost like we're part of some weird dream. Paid the IRS at least. Yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about the fear they're trying to perpetuate today because screw the IRS. Fuck the IRS, but I paid them too. I can say that now because I'm not monetized. I don't care. But yeah, man, let's do a show soon. JC said you have a perspective and understanding that most do not have, especially through your experience in the crypto world needs you. Thank you so much for saying so, JC. Um, I don't know that I fully believe that even. I know it's weird to hear it, but um, what I really think is that I have been a fantastic hub for beautiful nodes like decentralized, like you, like for a lot of OGs and for a lot of the people that I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Like I said, I think the value really comes from oftentimes the conversations that I have and what you guys can take away from those conversations. So I would like to be having really good conversations, not the kind of cheap ones that sometimes I had in the past. Just to, my thought was I want to give as much because it comes back, so I would give free interviews to as many crypto companies as possible. Like, well, man, was that draining, and man, was that really no way to live and to waste your time, because I learned a lot more from having a longer form conversation with great people like Decentralized instead. Anyway, let's continue here. So I'm just showing you some more of these. I think this is super cool. So an armchair in the shape of an avocado. That's what this freaking AI generated. These images. A storefront that has the word OpenAI written on it. I mean, this looks almost realistic, so it can generate realistic looking art. This one's really cool. The exact same cat on top as a sketch on the bottom. Just being able to type and have AI that understands language enough, or seemingly understands language, to produce images like this, that means we're going to get to video next. Because if you take, I mean, it's not far at all, right? Because if we take pictures, video is just frame after frame, right? Once we get to 24 frames per second, we're basically hitting that point of oh, that is just like real life almost. It's a movie, right? You can tell that they're frame after frame, but it's enough to convince your mind that those pictures are a moving image. And we're about to hit that point with AI. This is fascinating stuff. If anything is going to get us out of this recession, it probably is not going to be the Fed. It could be Bitcoin, but it could be technology as well. Oftentimes that is what pushes humanity further, is some technology. And wouldn't it be great if technology continues its dream of freeing us up to have more leisure time? Isn't that what this is all about? Crypto is just Money technology, yeah, the we're behind a little bit when it comes to money technology. We've gotten to witness this, but there's so much more going on. Please share with me anything related to AI, and that to me is almost more fascinating right now with all the negativity relating to crypto. Speaking of negativity, Mike Novogratz, surely you remember him, Bitcoin billionaire. He was instrumental in kind of Ethereum, from my understanding, getting funding early on because you have Joseph Lubin, who is the primary funder of the Ethereum Foundation. I could be completely wrong here. It's been a while. I don't care about who has money anymore. I'm just trying to do me, yo. And help do you guys, yo. But I don't care if you got a lot of money and you want to brag. It's just not what I'm interested in anymore. But he has had some interesting things to say. Like back in 2017, I didn't want to hear it, but at Ethereum Summit, he was talking about how it was going to pop the bubble, and it did eventually pop. It would have been smart to take some off the table. So sometimes he has good things to say, Mike Novogratz, who might have helped fund Ethereum in general. So he's played, at least by whispering certain things into Joseph Lubin's ear, because they both worked at Goldman Sachs, from my understanding, together. I mean, that might be part of the reason why we're able to have this conversation right now. So you gotta give the bow down to the real OGs sometimes. But anyway, he said the economy is going to collapse. We are going to go fast into a recession. He had an interview with Market Watch. The economy is going to collapse. We're going to go into a fast recession. And I think that people are talking about this a lot, how this recession is going to come real quick. And you can see that in a lot of ways. Housing is starting to roll over. Inventories have exploded. There are layoffs in multiple industries, and the Fed is stuck. They have to hike interest rates until inflation rolls over. They said that they don't want to go into negative interest rate territory. So even if they do start dropping, they're kind of stuck. They're stuck between a rock and, in a hard place. Such a dumb thing to say again, but it's just true. They are hiking into the popping of a bubble. So I guess he thought that the bubble was already popping because he was referencing soaring price tags on luxury Swiss watches and other assets. As we know, let's see, watch price chart. Watches have been going up like nuts. Have had. There's no way to get a Rolex. You could stay outside of. You could wait in a line or for the Rolexes appear, and you're still not going to get a Rolex. You could wait around the block. But it looks like prices are starting to come down. I guess this is what he's referencing. In the last month, prices for some of these luxury watches are down about 0.1%. They're down about 1%. 3 months down 11.4%. So this could be something that the old uber wealthy, the Richard Harts of the world, are looking at, the value of their watches and whether they're dropping or not. There's a lot of fear, and if watches aren't holding their value as much as people might have thought, then what is? I don't know. Skills like nunchuck skills, like our boy Napoleon Dynamite in the movie was talking about. You better have some good nunchaku stick skills. Some good money making skills that could include playing an instrument, that could include being better to your fellow man, so you get privilege to good information because you're not a douchebag on Twitter. Anyway, just to begin wrapping up. Again, please support the show if you'd like to. I'm not making any income, but if you would like to help out and tip so that hopefully we can keep the show going a little bit longer, please consider doing so via Patreon, patreon.com/cryptosnews, and you will get a producer credit. You can tip as little as $5 to get that producer credit at the end of the show, or you can tip as much as you want to. Thanks to those of you who do give a little bit extra. I know you don't have to, but yeah, my mortgage says Phil back. I thought this was funny. My mortgage is 2.5. My mortgage is 2.5% fixed. Is the new have fun staying poor, which is something we heard a lot, huh? And our motivational quote of the day. I think we're gonna bring back the quotes of the day. Life is not about having everything. It's about finding meaning in everything. By Joel Randymar, although Alan Watts talks a lot about that kind of thing. So thank you all for joining me so very much. Hey, thank you, BP. It's glad to have you back, and those good guys like you. And the scammers seem to not be back, so fingers crossed that they stay gone forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. I love you. Take care. Let's play that ending credit.